Alright, hello and welcome to Adhd, Season 2. We are starting what Arion has named the Road to Erys. Erys will be the world that this campaign will be taking place in. And before the main campaign starts, we have a few stories we want to tell. The first one we're calling Raincloaks. That's what you're listening to now. Raincloaks is taking place about 100 years before the main campaign is going to start. And in this campaign, it's just me and Arion, but we have guests that pop in and out. So, I hope you enjoy.
You're cutting out like every... Huh?
Is it better if I do microphone real close?
That sounds okay right now.
If I keep talking?
Yeah, you're just cutting out a lot. So, yeah, you're sounding good now. Maybe your mic just wasn't picking up enough for Craig. Or for Discord.
Oh god, my lips touch it sometimes. I just need to enunciate my words. Enunciate!
Yep.
Am I good? Is it good?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Cool beans. Carson, what's up, buddy?
He went away for a minute.
Oh, he's dead. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he died.
Alone at last.
Alone at last.
Hey, do you remember what your cloak does?
Yeah, I got it in my notes.
Cool.
Rain's new cloak is a warder cloak. Advantage on stealth. Glamour weave on it. Make it look like what I want. Cast invisibility once a day. Glamour weave is clothing imbued with...
That.
I have done that, yes.
You have done that one. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, I have not done... the changing to what it looks like. I think I might have...
I think you did. I think you changed it to look like some Lawbringer attire.
Yeah, I think I did too.
To go in.
It was either that or I thought about stealing some Lawbringer attire, but I think I just changed my cloak to look like it, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you had that conversation in session.
Yeah.
Like that exact thing. Conversation with yourself, whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
Probably. I did.
Yeah. That when you went up and changed it, you were like, I almost stole some, but I have a glamour weave.
Yeah, and then I just cast invisibility. Yeah, I was like, why the fuck not?
Not gonna need that again.
Who needs that?
Well, I'm gonna pee you while waiting on Carson.
I'm back.
Okay. Too late here. You stepped away.
He's singing Afternoon Delight.
Key Twan, I think it was Key Twan who was like, I didn't realize how much he sang until he started playing with him. Then it's like, yeah, he sings all the time. Oh, man.
Found a PS4 for sale for $90 on Facebook Marketplace, so I snatched that up.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's what I should. That's what I should have done. I don't have the kids tonight. I should have hooked up the Xbox and downloaded some more games.
Yeah, you should have hooked up if you don't have kids.
Yep, that's what I should have done.
I came in
late. my Xbox.
Oh yeah, hooking up with your Xbox is always fun.
That's what I do.
That's rude.
Ugh. Alright, I'm sleepy. I'm heading to bed.
Good night.
Alright, it was fun playing tonight.
Yep, good time.
Alright, Carson. Tell me about your character.
I'm playing a ghost-wise halfling rogue named Arion Exuvia. Grew up in relative isolation, like 5 essentially families that were also halflings surrounding what was like an ancient obelisk out in like a very misty, like cold, like taiga type biome. Not quite tundra, but definitely kind of swampy and cold and lots of mist. they all carry a stone from the obelisk around with them at all times. Kind of reserved. Prefers to speak to people almost exclusively with his Ghostwise ability, silent speech in their minds. I think probably a lot of people find that off-putting.
Got it. Yeah. I was gonna say it's got to be unsettling for most people that he talks to.
But and like I think he uses basically a burglar by trade. Doesn't shy away from violence if he has to defend himself, but typically tries to do. Kind of takes the ghost, the ghost portion of his race. Literally, the less evidence, the better for everybody involved. Himself, most of all, but the client as well.
So he does little heist jobs gets hired to do job before joining the Cloaks, I guess. Right? He was getting hired by
whoever would hire him. He was basically a burglar for hire. Hold on, let me give you the Bret special.
What's the Bret special?
I'm waiting. Don't hit the needles.
I sniffed very loudly.
I didn't hear it. It only shows up in Audacity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Make fun of my allergies. That's cool.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. But okay,
bullying is cool.
Yeah, and this is cyberbullying even, so it's double points. So when you first join the Cloaks, it's very Robin Hood-esque, right? They're all about, and not as much stealing from the rich and giving to the poor as Robin Hood, but as like stealing from government entities and giving back to the people that need it. They obviously keep more of it. Like, it's obvious when you join, they keep more of it than they act like. But they still have this like self-righteous manner about them. You know what I mean? Because they are helping the common folk, and the way they operate makes it easy to spin that tale among people. So people have mixed feelings about them in Vogum, but mainly among the poorer you are, the more likely you are to think the Cloaks are good. So what would draw... I'm sorry, I don't remember your character's name. I think I missed it when you were saying it, but...
Arion.
He's right. Arion.
Is it Arion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like the Final Fantasy X
character. That sounded very familiar to me. That's probably what it was. That I was like,
Kingdom Hearts.
You just said the name of one of Carson's other characters.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably actually where you are more familiar with him from.
Yeah, I've definitely heard it there. So what would draw Arion to the Cloaks? Or would that draw him to the Cloaks, or would it just be steady cash flow?
Probably steady cash flow. Maybe kind of a feeling of home and community away from home. But probably more than anything, he's not the most social person in the world, so having a steady supplier of gigs would be a nice perk, like just kind of waiting for the next job to come to him instead of having to go through the painstaking ordeal of kind of having to, ace that first impression and then get hired on.
Yeah, it's very nice because that's how the Cloaks operate. They have in their what would you call it, Orion? Where everybody hangs out. It's like would be the living room in a house, but when it's like a secret base.
Yeah, it's their living room.
That's not what it would be called, but whatever.
That's what we call it. That's what it's called. That's what we called it.
So
in my
the
notes,
living room area,
the den,
where people eat and drink.
We called it a hideout. The Cloaks hideout.
Right. But in the main room, right, where people mainly are, the living area, the living room, they people
Common
eat and
room.
drink there. Common room is the word
Yeah.
I was trying to think of. So in the common room, there's all these rooms off to one side that are like study hall rooms. That basically they do it different with every agent, but when it's time for you to have a job, they will let you know in some way, and you'll go meet a contact in one of those rooms. Like when you go in, it's obvious which one you're supposed to go to. You go in there, close the door, they tell you the job, you leave and complete it. Before we jump in, can we do a clap? So we don't
No.
forget.
Do you want time.is or 3, 2, 1?
Let's do time.is. Already
Okay.
got it pulled up.
Wow, look at you.
Look at me. Look at me.
I can't. This is just a voice call.
Too bad for you, because I don't have pants on.
That is too bad
Damn
for
it.
me.
Is everybody there?
No.
No.
Yes, I'm there.
I'm here.
I've been here all night.
All right. You want to
Just
do it
waiting.
at 55 then?
Yep. I
I
spent
didn't hear
5
anyone,
seconds.
which I think is good.
I spent 5 seconds trying to figure out where to keep my hands.
I kept them super close together, and then when there was like 3 seconds left, I was like, "Is this weird? This looks so weird."
I just kept
Oh God,
pulling
clap!
mine. I kept pulling mine closer and then away from my mic, and I was like, "Wait, how close?" I need it to be close.
Okay, so Arion, you have had a steady stream of jobs for how long? You think Arion has been with the Cloaks?
How long have the cloaks been in operation? We'll do like 5 months.
5 months.
I think maybe actually it's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Months. Okay, that's a good time frame. So he's been completing odd jobs. They're mainly what he's been used to, these burglary jobs, over the past few months. And then, Rain was same day he got his mission, right? That he.
Yeah, they came back from that mission and was like, "Yeah, we'll join."
Okay, so yesterday for Arion, he it was a regular like come get your job thing. He goes in, when he goes to get his job, there's always someone in there waiting. This time there wasn't. He goes in, it seems like the room's empty, door shuts behind him, and then this figure just kind of like fades into existence in a chair. I didn't explain that to you. The study room area, I said, where you get jobs. Once you go in, it's kind of like interrogation room, just a table, chairs around it. That's it.
Yeah.
So this creature kept its features concealed, except at one point, I think you would have saw its hands. I know Rain
Yes.
did, and its hands are scaly, long claw-like fingers, and the scales are like they're blue and purple scales mixed together. It spoke in this whispery voice, and it told you basically that you had one job that you needed to complete, and then you were going to move up like a big jump in rank within the Cloaks. And what it told you was, it said another member is going to be completing a job, and then it gave you Rain's description. And it didn't tell you what Rain's job was. And it said, your job is to make sure that Rain's job is completed. And they don't care how it's completed. If you don't help him at all, and he completes it, then it's mission accomplished for you. If you show up and help him and you complete it together, it's mission accomplished for you. If you kill him and complete it for him, it's mission accomplished for you. Like, basically, he does not care how the job gets completed, but if Rain's job gets completed, you get this promotion. And it's just, so, up to you how you assist or don't assist or hinder. And then, the next day, you see Rain meet with the figure, and he just cuts out on the job immediately. or so you assume. So I guess Arion would tail him. And Orion, do you want to tell him what he sees Rain do when he tells him, or do you not remember and I need to do it?
I mean, he sneaks into the Lawbringer's place. I don't know what.
Yeah, so
it was pretty simple.
Yeah, what he see, he goes into the center of town where the Lawbringer Tower is, and turns invisible. While he's invisible, he swipes a Lawbringer badge off of a Lawbringer, and then becomes visible at an entrance at the Lawbringer's Tower where it just seems like Lawbringers are coming and going. You know, it's kind of like this back entrance. Flashes his badge and goes in. Also...
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Because I'm a Lawbringer.
When you meet with this figure, he gives you a cloak. And it's the same cloak Rain has. So one of the things... There's glamour weave on this cloak. So you see when he becomes visible, he's changed his cloak to look like common Lawbringer garb. And he has the badge that he stole from another Lawbringer. So he's able to just go right
And
in.
I scare the crap out of the door guard.
And Orion, you can tell Carson. I don't have my notes on that in front of me, so you can tell him what that cloak does. That he can add to his inventory.
It does some cool stuff.
Yeah, so make sure you write that down, Carson. Cloak that does cool stuff.
There, it's all in the chat.
Does some cool stuff. I think I get the gist.
Advantage on
It's basically
stealth.
a warder cloak that
invisibility once per
does
day.
glamour.
And glamour wave. I forgot about that. That's cool. You can make a charisma performance
That is cool.
or persuasion check while wearing the uncommon version of glamour wave. You can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the check. Once you use this property, it cannot be used again until the next dawn. And it has that too, because that's cool.
It just like as I have it on, I have advantage on stealth.
Yes, for wearing it, and it can look like anything you want.
Okay. Arion rolled pretty well for his stats, but that will come to light when it comes. Also, just it's so wonderful to have a built-in crit fail safe.
Yeah.
As a halfling.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and you got it double here on stealth. Oh, what if you somehow with advantage roll 2 1s, he could roll again?
I'd have to take whatever comes next, though. Alas.
Right, so if you roll 3 1s in a row, I've got you. Got you right where I want you. That's all I have to do is make you roll 3 1s in a row.
Was Rain made aware that he has somebody kind of attending him on this mission?
Nope.
And Arion doesn't know if he was or not.
Have we met?
No.
Like, just milling about?
Why don't you
the common room?
make a luck check. Just straight up and down roll.
Alright, if I crit fail, I get to reroll it.
10 to 14, you've met, or you've seen him. 15 and up, you've spoken to each other before.
13.
You've seen him. When he was described to you, you were like, oh yeah, I know that dog. But y'all never had a conversation. But
we didn't have a conversation, but I did say into his mind at one point, "Who's a good boy?" I immediately cut the telepathic link off after saying that, so that no response could get through.
Okay, so that's where we're going to pick up, is where Rain has just entered the tower disguised as a Lawbringer. Arion, you see this. I'll let you pick where you are. I'll tell you what the scene looks like. So
I'm the door guard that he scared the bejesus out of.
So Vogelhelm, huge city. In the dead center of it is Lawbringer's Tower. And the way the city's set up is the nicest houses, biggest houses, right? The people with the most money live as close as you possibly can to the Lawbringer's Tower. And basically it goes, the housing and real estate just gets cheaper as you move away from the center, right? So, where you are now, the houses are real on top of each other. They're huge. It's super clean. Well, I know they're not on top of each other. I shouldn't have said that because I've said here that the city planning is very, very well thought out. There's alleyways that aren't.
Does
dark,
this look like where the city
small.
started being designed and it got... Okay.
Absolutely. Like, if you know the history of Oakhelm, what happened was they built the tower first, and then a city built up around it. So at first it was like strong supporters of the tower that had money, and they actually kept people that didn't have much money out to keep it nice. But as the city got bigger and bigger and bigger, that was inevitable. So yeah, definitely the city started here, and it has grown out from it, and it gets poorer and poorer as you leave the center. And also, the city gets less thought out because the rapid growth it had. So in the beginning, everything's very well thought out. The planning and zoning is amazing. Their alleyways are huge, and well lit, well paved. Everything's clean here. There's actually, it's one of the few cities in the world that has like restaurants, like not just inns where they're like, oh yeah, we also are serving this meal today. They have restaurants with menus, and you go in and they can like order food.
Oh, how posh.
And a lot of those are around the tower here. But also, for 2 blocks in a circle around the tower there's no structures. It's flat pathways to the tower. There's little gardens and stuff breaking it up. But it's hard to, looking at it, you'd think it's probably done on purpose. It's hard to like sneak into the tower because they have a line of sight on you for 2 blocks, right? Where it'd be easier to sneak around in alleyways and stuff 2 blocks away. In this city, it's not like that right here. So you would see Rain appear kind of in front of this guard and startle him, have a conversation with him, flash his badge, and just walk in. The guard kind of shrugs it off like it's a lawbringer. You know, I'm not sure why he did that, but whatever.
It's really easy.
Mm-hmm. So around where you are, it's this district where there's lots of big houses, but there's also shopping centers and restaurants, and you see
decent hustle and bustle.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's very busy. I think it was like 10:30-ish in the morning, is what we said last time, because he saw lawbringers eating brunch, I believe. Maybe it was breakfast. Maybe it's early in the morning. But we'll go 10 o'clock for right now, though. And yeah, the city's already busy. But it's not busy like people hustling to get to work. A lot of it's busy like they're shopping and visiting friends and meeting in these diners for brunch. A lot of it's spring, the weather's great. A lot of the seating is outdoors. So they're sitting on these outdoor patios, ordering wine and stuff, and it's very loud, and yeah, lots of hustle and bustle.
So I can use the common like moving illusory pattern on the cloth as a bonus action. I can do that multiple times a day.
Yeah, it's unlimited.
Okay, I would like to disguise myself as a waiter.
Okay.
And then I will approach some of the lawbringers who have probably had a little bit more wine. And I would like to try to snag one of their... what was it? Was it some kind of card?
It's a badge. It's like a pin that you
pin
on
yes.
to your jacket.
Okay, yeah.
It's a sword.
Okay.
Stabbing downward with scales on the hilt.
It's on the lapel.
Cool. I didn't think we...
Yes. Yeah, it's on the lapel. Yeah.
A little bit harder to snag that off of there, but it's a game of theater of the mind. So he just brings
I did it just fine.
A new bottle of wine.
We'll make make an investigation check.
Offers it to the table. Would the gentleman like some more wine? This is a very, very fine vintage.
Sure. Make an investigation check first to see if you can find the drunkest lawbringers.
Something I'm pretty good at. Not great. Oof, it's a 3 + 4 = 7. You almost wish you fail.
Okay. Yikes. Okay. Yeah. So you approach a table that you think they look like they've had a bit to drink. So at this table is a half elf, a human, and a dwarf. And you approach and ask, what was it? If they would like to try this new vintage.
Would the gentleman like some more wine? This is a fine vintage.
So the elf, just like the half elf, he just kind of like gives you a look like, how dare you come and interrupt us. The dwarf shrugs, and the human's like, oh yeah, sure, why not? We'd like to try it. Glass for everyone? Yes, they both nod. Yeah, we'll all try one.
So Arion uncorks the bottle, and I'm sorry, no, it's a twist-off bottle. It's a fine vintage.
Fine vintage, twisty.
It's a box. It's a box of wine.
It's these new fancy boxed wines they're doing.
But
they've never had these before.
He uncorks the bottle, and he begins with the half elf, and then goes to the dwarf, and ends with the human. And as he's leaning over the human's, let's say, left shoulder, with the pin on his left lapel, he's going to try to lift the pin off of.
All right, give me a sleight of hand check. We're going to go DC 16, since they are not very drunk. If it's under 12, it's going to break bad.
So 6 plus 6, 12.
It's not under 12.
It's not under 12, so it's not going to break bad for you. But it doesn't
work. It's not
work.
Break bad. It's a mixed success.
Yeah, exactly. It's a mixed success. So basically, you get your hand on it.
Realizes it's going poorly, and just chooses to like tip the wine and kind of spill the bottle all over the table. In the ensuing chaos, just kind of dances away from the table and tries to get lost in the crowd, and changes the glamour on his cloak.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
To just like a common cloak.
Yeah, so he spills it. They jump up. The half elf starts yelling at the other waiting staff, like wanting your name. Yeah, but you just dance out of there.
Should I roll stealth?
Yeah, go ahead.
To try to get away, or
go ahead.
Okay.
Why not?
Something's got to go well, doesn't it?
Well, you have advantage.
You got advantage on it.
That's true. I wasn't about to roll with advantage.
Yeah, you're gone.
Yeah, that goes much better.
You are out of there. 18 plus 8, 26.
26.
Yeah, you are just gone. You're gone before the half-elf can start screaming and asking for your name. You can hear him, but everyone's lost sight of you at that point. You use your half-elfness to, or your halflingness to just, you're diving in between people's legs and stuff, and you're just out of there.
So, could I scan the crowd of the restaurant again and actually try to find the drunkest lawbringer?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Do another investigation check.
It's a 12 plus 4, 16.
16, that's much better. So at 16, you notice basically everyone here has kind of just started eating. I don't know, like it was a new wave of people for some reason, and that's why those guys probably weren't drunk. You went over there because there were a lot of empty glasses there, but now you realize from a distance as you're looking around that they were all from the dwarf. And he doesn't even seem to be drunk at all, but he's the one that drank like all 8 of the empty glasses. And
respect.
You notice across the street there are some lawbringers. There's 2 of them that seem to have been there for a while, and they are cutting up, laughing, spilling their drinks. Just seem to be having a grand old time. It is give me 2 races, Orion. What are these guys?
2 races?
Yeah.
The Daytona 500 and
You bastard. I was gonna let you be one of them too. And look at you don't even know another one.
Be a race car.
You don't even know another one.
The Indianapolis 500.
I was gonna say that one in Monaco, or where Monaco.
That's not even a real place.
The
the F1 Grand Prix.
yeah, that one. It's the city-state, basically, is what it is.
The one that's in an episode of Archer.
Yes, exactly.
Where the villain is named Benoit.
Balls. Oh wait, what are we doing again? Races. An ASMR and a Herringon.
Half orc. Oh wait, half orcs have a difficult time in Erys, don't they?
No, not really. So especially not in Voghelm. It's the most diverse city in the world. Sometimes in some places they do, but half orcs wouldn't here. All right, I'll be the Herringon.
So I'm the ASMR. What are we doing?
You're the ASMR.
No, I'm just waiting for one of these two to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry, this isn't going to be so dramatic.
Okay, the Herringon goes to the bathroom. The ASMR tries to, and he's like,
ASMR...
I'm first. I have some B words, you know it. I can't.
The ASMR looks at his wrist and goes, "It's not bathroom time yet."
He's pissed on yourself last time you said that. All right, and the Herringon gets up and goes to the bathroom.
He speaks.
Oh, of course.
Arion speaks into the ASMR's mind and says, "It's definitely bathroom time. You know it."
Okay, and then he falls onto the floor and pees himself.
No, that doesn't happen.
Oh, you let me be him.
You can't just give him a badge.
God, I'm always getting railroaded by this guy.
He pees. He lands on the floor and pees, but then you realize the badge fell off into the puddle of pee.
No, he falls on his face.
Woke him up.
He falls on his face. He's face down on the cobblestones or whatever.
An ASMR pee is purple for some
roads
reason.
are made of, so his badge is pinned underneath him against the ground.
Yeah, there you go. So what's your plan now, Batman?
I mean, I'm going to approach the man who just fell on the ground and make sure he's okay. I'm going to roll him over.
Fine.
Sir.
It's not time to get up yet.
I'll follow the Herringon to the bathroom. I know this has already taken longer than you expected, but I'll follow the Herringon to the bathroom.
Okay.
Everything. He just listened to the last session we did, and it was like 15 minutes before he even started the session.
We hopped in this time. That was good. I said hopped on purpose.
Nice Herringon joke. Good stuff.
Unintended.
So, is there anybody else in the bathroom?
Let's see. Let's let the dice decide.
Roll a D200. There's 13 people in the bathroom.
There's one other guy.
There's 13 people in the bathroom. And
you rolled a D20.
And there are 2 toilets.
I was doing a look check for him. 13, there's one other person. So you're the third dude in the bathroom.
So I'm just going to pretend like there are urinals.
There's tons of urinals on the wall. They just seem to be part of the wall that comes out into a bowl with a hole that goes down somewhere no one knows. Someone knows. But
okay. So I would like to pretend like I'm drunk as well, and like as I'm walking up to the urinal beside the Herringon, to his the urinal to his right, I want to sling my left arm over his left shoulder so that my hand is draped right where his badge would be.
Okay.
And just convivially be like, "It's some good wine out there, isn't there, bud?"
Okay, and
I would like to steal the pin. Yeah, okay. I have nothing in that.
You can use your D4 if you want. For your glamour wave.
I get to add a D4?
Mm-hmm. Once per day, you can add a D4 to persuasion, a persuasion roll, or a performance check.
It's a 12 plus 113, but I'll add my D4. which I was going to do anyway, so even if it wouldn't have mattered.
3
Plus 3, 16.
Okay. Yeah, so you seem pretty convincingly drunk. You put your arm around him, and he just looks at you. He's peeing and just smiles at you. It's a big toothy grin. Big buck toothy grin. Go ahead and
nice smile.
make a sleight of hand check with advantage. Since y'all are both so drunk. I do have a nice smile. That's what my mom tells me. Nobody else tells me that, though.
That's a 15 plus 6, 21.
Yeah, you snatched that pen right off of him. These are 2 in trouble lawbringers later.
Your mom sounds like a nice lady, and she'd have to have a boy with such a nice smile. Arion zips up his trousers, or pulls up his trousers. I don't know.
They were
Buttons
around
his
his
trousers,
ankles.
probably.
He's in the kindergarten
pulls
pee.
up his trousers. Which, I mean, yeah, he goes fully to the ground every time. He actually takes his trousers off the hook on the wall where he put them after he took them completely off.
He did it as soon as he came in. He takes his pants off, hangs them by the door, walks over, pees.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let that happen to me again. The last time I was drunk and I peed, it got everywhere. These hooks are on the walls for a reason. Did you know that that's what the hooks are there for?
I thought it was Bret.
Anyway, friend, I hope you have a great... Oh my god, it's only the morning. Should we be this drunk this
Oh,
early?
man. I don't know, but we are now. You good day, Charles. I'll see you later, man.
Have a good one, Steve.
Hopscotch tomorrow?
And I feel like you have an unfair advantage in hopscotch, but sure.
Yeah, that's right.
And Charles leaves the bathroom.
What's Arion do?
Arion, his name was Steve. I thought he called me Charles.
Yeah, he did call you.
Arion leaves the bathroom with his lawbringer pen, and as soon as he has like a quiet moment, I had a different idea, but I'm not going to play that out. Just also wants to make his.
Or you're going to lawbringer up
a
and
lawbringer
go
cloak.
in the front door, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, correct.
So we're going to jump to, before that happens, we're going to jump to Rain and see what he was doing during this, and at some point, Arion will enter the scene. So, Rain, you have just entered the Lawbringer Tower with a Lawbringer pin, and
I walked into a room with 100 lawbringers.
yeah, not that many, but this is like the Lawbringer common room. You know, there are tables spread out all throughout here. The tower is circular, so this room looks like a slice of pie. You know, because it's not covering the whole bottom floor of the tower. But there's just kind of tables scattered out in here. Some people are eating breakfast. You don't see anywhere, like you don't see a stand or something where it came from. You can just see people in here eating. Some people are drinking a little bit like water, a few glasses of wine out. You know, there's like 30, 40 lawbringers in here, over about 50 tables.
That's so many.
You know that where you're going is in the basement, but that's all they told you.
What am I? Do I know what I'm taking? I don't remember what I'm taking.
Yes, they said to go to the armory in the basement and get as much as you could out.
Go to the armory and get as much as you can out, like weapons and shit.
Yeah, stuff out of the armory, and basically, I think your instruction was like get the most valuable looking stuff first, and then get what you can carry and get out. They didn't give you a set.
It's funny because
number
I'm
or
really
anything.
good. I'm really good at taking notes leading up to the point where I start doing stuff.
That's funny.
Oh, my one note is Bret talks to some girl for like 40 fucking minutes, and she didn't even find the sharks to be funny.
Yeah, I was disappointed with Grace too. I re-listened to that today.
What is it we can smell from a half mile away?
Toast?
Oh,
Versus blood?
I think I'm having a stroke. That is
Not toast.
one of the funniest
We can't do it again. We can't do it again.
We can't do it. We can't spend a half hour talking about this.
Last time we played this.
This is new content. I wasn't here for it last time.
That's true. We don't have Carson's opinion of this. We're just going to start.
Me laugh. I resend that to at least 5 new people in a chain letter every time I see it.
I do too.
Yeah. I send it to Bret like every other week just for the hell of it.
Me and Ryan send it to each other a lot.
That's the funniest version of text tag.
Did I put it in the I put it in the main chat in the Discord too.
Like in player chat, I think you did, yeah.
No, I did it in the general chat too. I put it just that. Didn't say anything. Just that. Oh, it's so freaking funny.
Not
what is
toast.
it? It's from a quarter mile away. Blood?
Blood?
Not toast?
So not
no.
Toast.
What's the shark's name?
Eugene.
It's Eugene. I thought it was Eugene, which is a very small detail that makes it even funnier that a shark's name is Eugene.
The joke's gold all around. Who names a shark?
It's
Eugene?
so good.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's the perfect. Oh my god, that's the shark's name for it to have. I don't think there's a better one. It would be more funny.
There's not. It's so good. Okay, let's.
I've successfully derailed us talking about the shark name again, so we can move on.
It's fine. I've been taking notes. All right, Ryan, what you doing?
Okay, so I'm in a common room, like 30 or 40 lawbringers? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's like 50 tables in here, so it's like only a quarter full. You know, this could hold a lot.
Are they playing darts?
A lot of people.
Are there dartboards?
No, actually the vibe in here seems to be pretty serious. Like, there's a few tables where people are like laughing and having fun, but like even the people that are for the most part, even the people that are like eating seem to be in a hurry or, you know, like about to do something. So they're like eating to get it over with and go do something.
Do I
just other people
spot
milling about coming in and out.
Are there do I spot a stairwell anywhere or doors leading out of this common area?
So on the, like I said, it's a slice of pie. So to your immediate right, where the room's opened up, there's a doorway, and then back on the far wall, almost in the corner, there's a doorway on the left side. But you don't know if there's stairs
2
or
doorways.
Yeah, one on this back wall to the right, and others on the left on the far wall, closer to the skinny part of the room.
Do I see anybody going in or out of them?
At the moment, no. But you've been in here like 10 seconds.
I'm just going to start walking not like super fast, but with like a purpose to the door, like on the far side.
Okay. I want you to make a performance check. And I'm going to give you advantage since you're wearing all the correct things to be here. At a glance, people shouldn't look twice at you. But for sure, no one's ever seen you in here. And, you know, we'll see how well you fit in. But this is something we said last session, though. It's very prequels Star Wars Jedi Temple. So, like, it's not like if you're walking down a hallway that there's any one person that can be like, I've never seen your face. You shouldn't be here. Right? Like, there's too many lawbringers for there to be any one person that knows everybody.
I don't know, like, how common Hundlings are.
That's true. Hundlings aren't very common, so that's probably a point against you.
That's a 17.
Thank God for your advantage. It's 17, not a 7. So, yeah, you see some people glance at you as you make your way to the door. But no one stops you or tries to interfere with you. You get to the door, you open it, and it is a stairwell going up.
Arion is 2 foot 10 inches, and so I realize now that he was probably like on his tiptoes pouring that wine at that table.
Yeah, I just figured there was a stool or something he hopped up on. I was thinking that when he was talking to the Harrigan, however you say it, and I was like, well, they're short too. So that's funny to picture him though, that his eyes like were above the table. And he's like, hey, I want to try some new wine.
He's holding it above his
Try something
hands.
blind.
Or above his head. He is holding it above his hands, too, because that's how hands work.
Yeah,
at holding things.
Unless he's holding it downward.
So you've opened this door.
Claws.
It's a stairwell that goes up.
The claw.
You
Yeah,
hear
I'm trying to
footsteps
decide.
coming down the stairs, also, as you're standing here.
Rain's... Oh, man. I'm trying to decide if he would... He needs to go down to the basement. He's going to go up the steps.
He's gonna go up the steps, though.
Yeah, because he's not going to He's not going to go to this door, open the door, and then be like, oh, no, I forgot where I was going, and turn and walk the other way.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's going to be fun
Like-
for me, but it does make sense.
Yeah, and I...
Mhm.
Rain isn't dumb.
No.
I don't have any negative modifiers.
He's an efficient killer. Sometimes so efficient people might mistake him for being unwise, but he is not.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So
yeah,
he makes his way up the stairs.
he just goes. Yeah, he's gonna go up to like whatever the first stop like level is that he can get out.
Mhm.
If it's like a one story flight, great. If it's multiples, he's gonna try to get off on the first.
So-
he's getting off at the first stop on the
Yeah,
elevator.
it's stone spiral staircase. Think old castle, right? You
Yeah.
go up. You pass a group of 3 lawbringers that kind of move to the side and let you by as you're rounding the first curve, and then you go up one story, and there's a door, big heavy wooden door that you can go through. But the stairs keep going up if you want to continue up.
Yeah, he goes to that door. He knows he needs to get down in the basement,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't want to like seem weird, so he's gonna go through this door and just hope it's nothing crazy.
Okay.
He's just gonna keep walking through doors and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's great. It's not what I was planning for tonight, but it's good stuff. So you open this door.
You gave me 2 doors. I'm gonna take
It
whichever
is,
door comes first.
But you didn't. You picked the further door. You open this door. It's a
Tomato, potato.
huge, like 50-foot hallway, basically. This elaborate purple carpet runs the whole length of the hallway, and this hallway, you can barely see the end of it. It looks like this cuts straight, like all the way across the tower. In the middle, it opens up on either side. The hallway does, so it's like a circle in the middle, with this hallway cutting it in half. And there's just doors lining this hallway on either side.
Is there like noise? Does he hear sounds of people?
Make a perception check. Also, this hallway's full. There's people walking down it. You see a lot of people gathered. You can't see what's in the circle. You can just see the beginning of the circle because it's way down the hallway. But you can see people like gathered around where like the circle, where the hallway begins to open up into these semicircles on each side. You can see people gathered around there, and there's a lot of people just milling about.
That's a 20, 18 plus 2.
Oh wow! So what are you trying to?
Well, I was originally trying to see if there was like people inside the rooms, but I was thinking the hallway was empty when I asked that.
Yeah, that was my bad. So the 20,
20,
you see all that. You also hear different things with your dog ears going on behind these doors. Some of them you hear, it sounds like lectures. There's a few of them where you hear like grunts and shuffling around where it sounds like fighting or some kind of training, martial arts training, something like that. Down with your 20, with where the room's opening up into the circle, you can hear like clangs every now and then of metal hitting metal, like someone's sword fighting or fighting with some kind of martial weapons. But it's obviously not like an attack, right? Because there's people standing around. You realize these people gathered around, huddled around, are like watching.
Yeah. Yeah,
so something's going on down there.
there.
And that, like, the center of this hallway is like 300 feet away from you, where it opens up in a circle.
He's going to stand nonchalantly for a few minutes, like in the hall,
Mm-hmm.
until like anybody who saw him come up isn't looking at him anymore, and then he's going to turn and walk back down the steps.
Okay, so you go back down the steps and you're entering this room, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so as you enter this room again, this is when Arion joins the scene. You come back down into the room, and Arion, as you're walking in, you would see Rain coming out of that back door, that door on the back left. And just to even everything up, Rain, you've also seen Arion before, and you see him coming in.
I see him. I don't know who Arion is, though, right?
Well, why don't you just roll too, and we'll see.
I would like Arion would speak into his mind at this
Okay, go for
point, and say, "Halfling who just entered, I'm a contact from the Cloaks. I'm here to assist you on your mission. And if Rain looks at him, we'll give a quick, hand signal in Thieves' Cant, basically saying the same thing but more succinctly."
Make a stealth check when you do that.
I was gonna say Rain doesn't look at him.
Aww.
Rain Rain pauses.
That's less fun.
When he hears his voice in his head, and
You can speak back to me through this
Yeah.
link, by the way.
all Arion hears back is
That's a character.
go downstairs, and start and Rain starts walking toward the other door.
It's downstairs where you just came from?
No, upstairs.
Okay, you just came from upstairs. Okay.
I just came from upstairs.
Okay.
Where did you just come from?
Outside.
You should know. Rain's not dumb.
Rain's not dumb.
So you are headed out the other door, which leads downstairs?
He said it to the other door.
To the
hoping
door
it
that
leads
goes downstairs.
Yes.
Okay.
The door that's on the closest door to you. That's on this wall.
So
to your right.
Silent,
Other door goes upstairs.
Silent speech actually doesn't specify that the person with whom I'm speaking must remain in sight. It's just within 30 feet. Doesn't say anything about 5-foot stone walls or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, it makes
interrupting the ability to speak.
Makes sense because 30 feet's not very far. I would say, actually, I'm not going to say it didn't happen, but he was definitely more than 30 feet away from you just now when y'all saw each other.
Now it's 30 feet.
But yeah, for some reason, the weird circular manner of this place confused the way that the spell works.
It echoed.
And thought that it was
It echoed.
It echoed.
It bounced through 3 other lawbringers that didn't hear it, though. It used them as amplifiers. 3 people that knew message.
Arion is going to try to stay as close to within 30 feet as he can to Rain, but also kind of act like they're not affiliated if possible. Obviously not draw attention to himself either.
Okay. Yeah, but he's falling behind. He's letting Rain take the lead.
Yes, absolutely. This is Rain's mission.
He doesn't know why he's here.
Yeah, Rain doesn't know why he's here.
Yeah, oh god. Okay. Alright, so instead of making y'all just constantly roll performance checks, it's just gonna work, right? So you go to this other door, open it, and it is a spiral staircase leading down.
Rain goes down the stairs.
Alright, you go down 1 flight, and it continues going down, but there's also a door here. 1 flight, I say it's all a single.
He's got to go to the basement.
The
The basement is the bottom.
Okay, so you go down to the second one, and the staircase keeps going down, but there's a door there. You gonna keep going?
He keeps going
You
down.
wanna go in either one of them? Are you sure?
They want to go to the basement.
Sure, though?
Basement's the bottom floor.
Okay. Yeah, so you keep going down, and then the staircase...
As Arion is trailing behind, he's like, did you go in either of these doors?
Did you go in this one? What about this one?
You still going downstairs? That's what you said, downstairs.
I go down the stairs.
Okay. So at the third door, the staircase dead ends into it, and so it's not on the side like the other two doors have been. You know, they've been on the side of this staircase. It dead ends into it, so it's just straight ahead of you. There's a door. It's go through this door or go back up. I assume you're going through.
No, he goes back up to the other store. Yeah, he goes.
Yes. Oh, okay. Are you waiting for Arion to catch up? How's this working? You going in with?
I don't care what he's doing. I go through the door.
Okay, you go through the door. It's not decorated at all here. It's very Spartan. It's stone walls. You've walked into this like stone hallway, stone on every side. It's clear, obviously you're underground, and about 15 feet in front of you there is we're gonna say half-orc. Curiously, not a lawbringer. They just look like, from their outfit, they're just like security here. I don't know if you know enough about the lawbringers, know how it works, but it just kind of looks like they've hired private security to be here. And he's just sitting there with this book in front of him, looking bored. And down the hall, about 20 feet behind him, you see a lawbringer walking away from you, moving down the hall. And
how
this
far
hall, he is... So this guy's 15 feet and he's 20 feet, so he's 35 feet away from you right now. This hall kind of dead ends after 60 feet into this big metal door. It looks kind of like a vault, but it doesn't have the big turning handles. It's just this heavy looking metal door. And it seems like the lawbringer's headed there.
I'm going to try to sneak up on him from behind.
Okay, so you're going to sneak past the guy at the desk?
Is he facing the door that I came in?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
I already used my invisibility. I'm going to walk up to the guy at the desk.
Okay. So you walk up to the half-orc at the desk. He glances up at you. He has a bookmark in this huge, thick book in front of him. He grabs the bookmark and flips the book open. It thuds real hard on the table. He picks up a quill and leans over right in the book, and he's like, "Name."
What you reading?
I'm not reading, man. You're checking in. Going to the armory, right?
You got a big book there.
Yeah, it's the check-in book.
You were reading the check-in book?
No, man, it was closed. And then you walked up, I opened it. I'm going to write your name in it, dude. That's how this works.
You just put it down and closed it again.
No, it was sitting here closed when you got here.
I stab him in the neck.
Okay. Make an attack roll with advantage.
Arion
This
has
is when
entered
Arion
the
enters
room at this point.
doorway. Yeah, he sees the stabbing in the neck. God, I love Rain so much.
17.
Wow, same roll.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. It's not a lot.
Um,
I love that my weapon is crap.
I'm gonna let you roll it like it's a crit here. It's a D4 is what you do.
Yeah.
Roll it again.
Because I
Can Arion whip out his short bow and fire an arrow at this guy too?
Sure. So that's 7 damage. Make an attack roll with advantage because he does have a dagger in his neck.
My sneak attack also does apply.
Yeah, because he uses the brass knuckles and the knuckle duster. They're only 1d4 damage, and the good daggers that you gave me, he doesn't use daggers. He uses his brass knuckle and his knuckle duster.
Yes, he's amazing
So,
daggers.
it'll-
He's not using.
It's 11 plus 6, 17.
Yeah, that'll hit. Let's see that damage.
2d6.
Brett's like, can you guys actually kill this guy in one attack, or is this gonna...
The terrifying thing for me is there's a Lawbringer 30 feet away from this to deal with, 20 feet away from this to deal with.
Yeah, that's okay.
The harder of the two prey.
It's a 7 plus 3, 10. No, 4, 11. 7 plus 4, 11.
Is that what your sneak attack?
The 2d6 is the indication of the sneak attack. The 2d6 was a 7, because I only add 1d6 at this point with sneak attack.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, your sneak attack's 1d6 right now. Y'all are low level.
He's level 2. Oh, baby.
So what's that total damage? We did 7 up here and 7 here. So 14? Okay. Where does
So,
this
like,
arrow
as soon
hit
as your... Almost as soon as your Knuckle Duster connects, because Arion sees that this is Breaking Bad instantly. Like, there's an arrow that basically just also... is he dying? Is this guy dying?
Yeah, he's gonna die. That's why I'm letting you pick where the arrow hits him.
Carotid right in the neck.
Okay, so basically what happens is the orc gets frustrated and, like, sits up, and as he does, it gives Rain the perfect, like, opening, and he just plunges his dagger into the...
He's aiming for his eyeball, but then he sat up and it catches him right in the carotid.
Yeah, he hits him in the neck, and then about 1 second later, because I picture Arion walking in and being like, hey, look, oh my god, he stabbed him. So, bam! So it's like, stab, bam! Arrow sprouts from his neck, too. And he's like, and just bleeding, and his eyes roll back in his head. What are you doing?
How far am I away from the other guy?
20 feet.
Okay.
Are you trying to make it where he doesn't hear this happen?
I think Rain stabs him, and then as soon as he pulls out his dagger, he's gonna run toward the the Lawbringer as fast as he can.
Okay. Let's roll initiative.
Okay.
Can I guess I can bonus action hide at the start of my turn.
I got a 22 in initiative.
Wow. 22 high roll.
I got a 4 plus 4, 8.
I got 2 plus 3, 5. Yeah, so you're both first. So Rain, you reach
Thank Christ.
you reach this wood elf Lawbringer as he's, like, turning to, like, he hears your feet on the stone behind him, and he's, like, turning to see what's going on as you're on top of him. I guess you're gonna attack?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, let's roll.
I'm just going straight in for his face with my brass knuckles. I get advantage on this because I just moved 15 feet toward him.
Heck yeah. Okay.
And that's part of my...
That's
part of my... No, it's my racial thing.
Oh, wow.
I need to make a Hundlinger 4.
Yeah, you do. Hundlings are the best.
I
don't know why
Rain's my Hundling.
I contributed significantly. Well, I don't know about significantly, but I contributed a fair amount to the creation of that race, and I don't think I've played one yet.
Yeah, I think you're.
I realized
one of the.
I realized making this character today that I haven't made a 5e character in, like, probably 4 or 5 months.
I thought you were going to say years. I was going to say, that's not true.
It may be pretty close to a year, though, because the last one I played that wasn't Gideon was one that I had created when I was still living in Rome.
Jeez.
Holy crap. Who?
Yeah.
Cadian.
Oh, yeah. I'm a sporting sub-race, so I have Unleashed, which is gain advantage on attack rolls when you've moved 15 feet in a straight line toward a target on your turn.
Which one of us came up with Unleashed? Because that's very good.
I'm pretty sure that one was you.
Not to pat myself on the back, but I'm happy with that.
I think you came up with Unleashed. I think we came up with Big Stretch together, which is his other thing, which is just advantage on all athletics checks. And then I think we came up with the working ones together as well, which is like Sleeping Dogs Lie and Good Boy.
No, I remember Sleeping Dogs Lie.
Don't be scared to pat yourself on the back here with us, though. Whenever I re-listen to stuff that's not edited, where there's be tons of conversation, especially like when it's just me and Arion is mainly what I'm hearing these. And there's all this conversation before, like what I listened to today. I'm always dreading it at first. Like I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to hear all the stupid shit I say. And then I'm just dying laughing the whole time I'm listening to it. I'm like, God, we're hilarious.
Yeah, he always texts me. We're so funny.
Half the time it's my own.
I reread like
I'm like, oh god.
I reread like all of my Pokemon 5e classes that I made, trainer classes that I made the other day, and I was like, oh, these are all very, very good. It's a shame we're never going to play this.
I still have that, too many games.
I still have all of my stuff for that.
No, I mean, I think I still have the books that you can't get.
Oh, me too, because I actually printed them out when I still worked at the color plant.
So that's a nat
my
20.
first attack, it was a nat 20 for my first attack, and then on my offhand, I'm also going to do a second attack, which I got a 21 on that one.
Let's go ahead, not because y'all are going to need it or anything, but for this session, let's do crits like you do, Orion. Let's roll that max damage.
Okay, so I'm going to roll 2d4 because both my attacks are d4s.
Okay.
And then I'm going to just add... The modifier is just going to be... I'm just going to put my modifier twice and then that. So it'd be a 4 plus 6. So I'm going to add 10. Uh, 18 damage.
That's max damage.
Yeah, I rolled 4 plus 10. Jeez, that is good damage.
Wow, where are you hitting him?
My brass knuckles go straight into like the side of his face as he's like turning toward me, and then the knuckle duster, I think instead of stabbing, I actually just punch him in the gut. So I go one to the face and then punch into the gut with the other hand.
Okay, and I'm gonna say with a crit and max damage that that punch to the face breaks his jaw. So like he tries to yell out and can't. So he's not able to yell for help at the moment. Oh, I gotta write that down. I'm DMing now.
When I hit a creature with an attack roll, I call on my mystical bond with nature to mark the target as my favorite enemy for 1 minute. So he's now my favorite enemy. For first time on each of my turns, if I hit him, I can deal extra damage to him.
You should technically get that this turn then, though, because you hit him once and you hit him again.
That's true.
How does it? Read it to me again.
When you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can call on your mystical bond with nature to mark the target as your favorite enemy for 1 minute, or until you lose concentration. The first time on each of your turns that you hit the favorite enemy and deal damage to them, including when you mark it, you increase that damage by 1d4.
Oh god,
so technically I should do it
no matter what. So roll another d4.
Yeah. That is a
Woo!
3. So that's 21. That's 21 total damage.
Sheesh. Okay.
That's a shitload of damage for a level 2 character to deal.
Especially with a D4 weapon. That's all I have is D4 weapons. Well, I have D6 daggers, but they're shit. You know, they just do fire damage and increased crits and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, crits does 4 times damage on that one dagger. That's lame.
Why use it though? Ew.
Yeah, why use it?
Okay. Sheesh. Yeah, so you break his jaw, hit him in the gut, and he staggers and stays on his feet. Looks up at you. Do you take a good look at him, or are you just adrenaline pumping in the zone fighting?
I'm in the zone. Why would I look at him?
Auron, you're up.
I'm gonna beat his ass.
Beat his ass.
How far from him am I?
You're still in the doorway, so you are 45 feet away from him.
Is rain directly between us? Will rain count as obstruction for ranged attacks?
He is directly in between you, but I mean, you can move in your little 5-foot area without movement. So I feel like if you just move over a little bit, you have a good shot at him.
I will just attack with my short bow since it's already brandished. And
you're standing in the doorway. Are you leaving this door open? Did you let it close?
The door, I guess, is not on a pneumatic hinge, but I would have closed it as quietly as I could behind me upon entering.
Okay.
Just trying to make sure I get my modifiers right. It's a 12 plus 6, 18. To hit.
That hits. Yeah.
That does 10 damage before my sneak attack damage, because I forgot to include it because I don't play many rogues. And the sneak attack does max damage. I do 16 damage. I also do max damage.
You also do max... okay. He still has 13 health, but you've both done max damage, so I want y'all to
that feels
tell me
unbelievable.
How you just combo kill this guy.
We just combo killed 2 guys.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the other guy had 10 HP. This one had 50. Both your max damages left him with 13. I mean, it just feels most right to let y'all just kill the fuck out of him right here instead of him getting a turn to attack. He's so messed up.
He gets like a right hook to the jaw that like breaks his jaw and then gets punched in the gut. Right, that's the order of
and
events.
like tries to yell out, but his jaw's hanging, and he's like, "Oh!" and then grabs his face.
And he probably has no breath because he just got punched in the gut afterwards. So he's doubled over.
Mm-hmm.
I would like for my arrow to just find the absolute top of his head as he's doubled over.
Oh god! Make him a human popsicle.
Oh,
a wood elf popsicle. Yeah, and your arrow just plants in his head, and he falls forward, just a slow fall forward, and his face hits the.
Could we fuck with the timing? Could we fuck with the timing of events here actually a little bit? Because I have a different idea. So the first punch catches him in the jaw. And my arrow actually comes in, because these events happen simultaneously, around, right? Mm-hmm. So my arrow comes in and actually catches him in the gut, and Rain's punch to his gut drives the arrow through his body.
And out the other side. Oof. Like it bounces down the hallway. Plink,
it clatters out of him uselessly.
Leaves blood splatters everywhere, and then he just collapses onto the ground. Alright, what do you want to do? We're out of initiative.
Rain walks toward the big heavy metal door.
Voice message to Rain, like mind message to Rain of like, I'll stash the bodies, you do what you need to do.
Okay. Are you going to loot the bodies
Rain just
as
walks
you
toward the
stash
door.
them?
100% 210 45-pound Arion is looting these bodies and then moving them.
Okay, so the guy working the book has 1 gold on him and just a regular dagger. It's worn out. It looks
I actually
like he
don't
used
have a dagger, so that could be useful.
Looks like he used it mainly to cut fruit and like whittle with. The Lawbringer, you notice, actually doesn't. He's dressed like a Lawbringer, but he does not have a Lawbringer pin on him, and he has 50 gold pieces in a coin pouch on his side. And Rain, you make your way down to the big metal door. You notice it's cracked open.
What is cloak policy upon like spoils of missions?
You keep everything.
Okay.
You keep everything that they don't ask you to get. Like normally they'll
like
say, go steal this, and if you steal other things while you're there, that's yours. But you have to bring back the thing they want. And sometimes what they want is gold, right? Like, go to this house, get 500 gold. If you get 1,000, you keep 500, you give them the other 5. And then they always pay you for the job afterwards.
I've done the Thieves Guild missions in Skyrim. I get it.
Yeah, you get it.
Allegedly, allegedly, there is next year going to be either a remake or like a 5K remaster of Oblivion coming out.
That's actually very exciting. All right, so Rain, you go to the end of the hallway, you grab this door. It's heavy, but like I said, it was left cracked open. It's heavy, but you can pull it open as you walk in. I imagine Rain just pulls it open enough to slip in.
Yeah, he's not gonna like open it wide.
Yeah, 'cause it creaks a little, but not much because you just open it enough to slip in. And inside is definitely the nicest armor you've ever seen. It doesn't look like there's any common weapons in here. Everything is probably magical. And there's just multiples of any weapon you can imagine. They don't have plaques, or like descriptors anywhere on them, so you don't know what the magical qualities of them are. At a cursory glance, it would be obvious that some of them are more important. All around the wall, there are these like locked showcases that have weapons in them, and then some are hanging up real high at like its 20-foot ceiling, and some of them are hanging up near the top of that 20-foot ceiling, so they seem important. And then it's just stands and racks of armor, weapons. Like I said, just any weapon you can imagine is in here. Multiple sets of it. They are organized by what they are. It seems like they're organized by weapon type and not magical qualities.
Rain pulls out his bag of holding and just puts all of them in there.
You don't have a bag of holding, right? I haven't given you that.
No, I do not. I do not.
There was half a second that I was like, oh my god, did I give him a bag of holding?
No, I don't even have a magic item other than the one you gave me last session. So,
and the several daggers.
Those don't count.
Right.
I think he takes a moment to just look at all this, and it's like in his head, he's just thinking, how is one person supposed to steal as much as, like, he just shakes his head, and then he goes for the most magical looking items that are small enough for him to like put on his belt and everything, and like carry out of here without it being like super obvious, because he's not going to be able to carry a shit ton.
So he's mainly going for daggers and short swords.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. You said he's going for the ones that look the most magical. How is he making that decision?
If it looks really cool, that means it's probably most magical.
Okay. Make an investigation check then. Let's see what he thinks looks cool.
I have a question regarding what Arion is doing.
Yeah, I would love to know what Arion is actually doing with, quote, stashing his bodies.
Have I noticed what, like, janitorial staff there might be in the tower?
Go ahead and make a perception check to see what you have noticed while you've been in here.
I rolled that investigation with disadvantage just because I felt like he really should have disadvantage on that, and I got a 15.
With a 14 plus 1 and 15 plus 1.
That's a 7 plus 7, 14 for my perception.
Jeez.
So
this is one of my expertise skills.
You have not been inside the tower for very long, right? So you have not seen anyone that looks like they're on janitorial staff, but you do notice that it is exceptionally clean in here, much like the city directly outside, or the Vogue that's directly outside of here. It just seems unreal how clean it is. Like, other than
the Lawbringers seem like
and spilled blood everywhere. It seems like if you drop food on the floor, like, no problem, just pick it up and eat it. No one would think twice.
So, is there a place in the room that these two men died in where I could stash their bodies surreptitiously? Like,
maybe
stash them
inside the vault, Remember, this was just a big open hallway with a vault at the end.
So big
there are
open
2 pools of
hallway with a
blood.
vault at the end.
Yeah. So there's nowhere to really hide them in this hallway. You could try hiding them in this stairwell, but like it's just a spiral stairwell, so I don't know how you would hide them. You could carry them up the stairs and try to open one of those 2 doors. Let's stash them
Okay,
there.
so mental message to Rain.
This is while
And
Rain's standing there
Arion
like,
says,
"Oh my fuck!" Still looking around.
Help me carry their bodies to the vault. Less mess that way.
He had to walk like 30 feet to say that, though.
Once Rain has the weapons, he goes and helps them.
Okay. I would say also with a 15, Rain, you, looking at it, you think, unless you want to try, like obviously the ones in the cases are the best, and probably the ones higher up. But if you're trying to be quick, you think probably shouldn't waste my time on those. Looking at the weapon racks, like I said, they're arranged by weapon, not magical qualities. But just like kind of looking at how the weapons look, you get the feeling that, so like if this is the dagger rack, the least magical are on the left, and as you move to the right, they get more magical. So you spend your time taking, unless you're going to try to unlock these cases or climb up this 18 feet and like get those weapons, you would just grab the 3 or 4 on the end. You know, so you get like
as long
4
as there aren't
daggers
brass
off the
knuckles
end.
up on the wall, he doesn't care.
No, there's not. But with a 15, you find a set of brass knuckles in here.
Cool.
There is just one of those. As you're looking around, you see brass knuckles. They're with the daggers, and they are on the further end. Are they like the 3rd dagger back, and they're just brass knuckles?
Yeah, he picks those up.
And probably wears those,
Definitely
so
takes
they don't
those.
count as inventory space. So how many daggers / short swords are you taking?
I don't know. He's probably only got like 3 or 4 short swords and maybe like 5 or 6 daggers.
Okay. How are you hiding them on your body anyway, so it's not obvious that you're...
The daggers are like going inside of his cloak, and he's got them set up in there, while the short swords, he's doing like 2 on top of each other on either side of his belt, so he's trying to make it look like they're just one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
So that's what he's trying. And then he goes out and helps Arion drag the bodies, I guess.
All right, yeah. So y'all move the bodies in. You gonna put them behind a rack or something, or you just kind of throw them in the vault and close the door? Also, there are these 2 big blood spots.
No, I want to take their cloaks off of them and clean up the blood spots as best I can. I don't
Okay.
have cleaning solution or a brush, but I want to mop them up.
Make
with their
a
cloaks.
sleight of hand check to see how long it takes you to clean up this blood with their gloves.
Ooh, it's a 19 plus 6, 25.
So fast. It's like 90
He's used to
seconds
it.
each that you have these blood spots cleaned up.
I
so
make sure
now-
to clean the opposite person's blood with the cloaks that I pull off of them.
Okay. Okay. I'm getting some real gore vibes. when
Figure
you
that one out.
Switched the
Dr. House.
the heads, the bodies, and the heads. Or whichever one of my characters was that did that. Anyway. So you put the bodies in there, you clean it up, so now there's no evidence that y'all were down here in the hallway, except that it's empty, and there should be a guy sitting here to help you check, to, make you check in. But other than that, doesn't look like to you that anyone can tell you were down here.
I go to the book, the check-in book.
Mm-hmm.
So can I just write somebody's name in here?
Yeah, what name do you write?
David Justice.
Okay. Do you know who that is, I guess?
I would think I'd probably know who the leader of the Lawbringers is.
I think it would make sense, right? Also, we didn't discuss this.
I don't
this
know
is-
that's what Rain is here for,
This
but
is in that
I think
era.
it would still make sense.
Just so we're clear. Yeah, are you going to try to make it look like all the handwriting in this book. Well, obviously not all the handwriting's the same, but you can tell like this page
the
is all in the
last
same
handwriting that was in the book. Yeah.
Okay, is that sleight of hand? You think?
Yeah,
It's got to be sleight of hand, right? All right,
It
make
seems
another
better
sleight of hand.
performance.
I think sleight of hand makes more
I would
sense.
rather it be. I would rather it be sleight of hand. If you're taking
I think sleight of hand makes more sense. I don't want it to be because you're so good at it, but
it's just a 6+6 though. 12.
With a 12, it's passable, and you're looking at it and going, it doesn't look the same. But it's one of those things where you're like, do I just feel like it's not the same because I know, like I'm looking at it too carefully. Is everyone else going to be like, oh, it's definitely the same? And you can't get a good read on it.
If investigators were looking at it, is it like it started out the same, but then David Justice pulled out his fucking sword and started attacking me, so it looks a little bit different.
I don't know if you've ever done anything like that, right? But like, if you ever tried to copy someone's handwriting, it's hard to get it perfect, I feel
the
like.
book was
you're like
the book was open when I stabbed him in the throat. He didn't get blood on the book.
Nah, it all went back. The book's fine.
Okay.
The book's
The
fine.
blood
They'll
all
never
went
even figure out he died. Yeah, the blood splattered backwards this time.
I did
That's
such
fine.
a good job cleaning up the book. I perfectly repaired the book too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of blood on
I
it,
stabbed
and he
him-
just swabbed it all. He had a Tide pen in his pocket.
I
that he
stabbed him in
poked
the
it
back of the throat. It was fine.
Yeah. Okay, wow. All right. What are we doing?
Rain's got his weapons. Looks at Arion and goes. He signs and what does he do? He just nods and says, "Let's go."
Arad says yes in Rain's mind to open the mental link.
Let's go. And he starts up the steps.
All right, y'all head out. You're going to pass
Up
those
they
two
go.
doorways. You're going to check them out this time?
Nope.
No?
I got the stuff
You're
I
gonna
need
check
from
them
the
out?
basement.
Okay, there's going to be cool stuff back
Is there
there.
like
if you
is there
want.
like a window or anything in those
No,
doorways?
there's not.
Yeah, there is, but it's 6 feet tall, and since Rain doesn't look, you can't see into it.
But on the second door on the way up, the first one on the way down, there's a sign that says,
Is there a doggy
birthday
door?
party.
Is that racist?
Birthday party, all welcome.
It would only make sense that doors come with like handles at the bottom for like smaller people.
Yeah,
and
they would
stuff.
definitely have
like
to,
a
right?
half door.
Yeah, God, that just makes
Yeah.
sense that here there's like 4 different doors on each door. That's part of the reason they're so big and thick. There's like 4 different doors on each
Yeah.
door, and if you open the smallest one, they don't all open, right? Like you just open that bottom one and walk in. It would have to
They
work.
treat-
So it would have to be something like that.
They treat knobs on their doors like any given Final Fantasy character treats belts on their attire. Just
Exactly.
everywhere, all over the place.
Yeah, they got hinges galore on all these doors. All right, so you make your way up to the top. You open
That's
that.
where they
door.
buy their hinges from. Is hinges galore.
Hinges galore. You hinges. You
Tables.
yeah.
Tables,
So
tables, tables.
you go back into this common room. It looks much the same as it did before, and we just walking out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna walk to the door.
Okay.
I'm gonna look like I belong here and that I belong with what I'm doing.
All right, I want.
And Aaron like waits a little bit of time and walks out separately.
Okay, then first I want Rain to make a performance check. No advantage this time because you have 4 short swords you're trying to make look like 2 short swords.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't need it.
You don't need it. Don't
I don't
forget you
need
have that D4 if you want to use it.
Yeah, I know. Why would I
You know.
need that? I don't know why you think I need stuff, Brett. That's a 17.
Wow.
I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use a D4.
Use it.
Just to see if I can make that up to a 20. That's a 21.
Yeah. You just stroll right out. Nobody even looks in your direction. You just stroll your way right on out the door.
Ugh. I take all the short swords into my hand and go, Edward, swords hands.
Some people like laugh. They're like, that's so good. I've never seen anybody do that. Look at this.
so funny.
Edward Sword Hands. That's funny because of Eduardo Sword Hands. You know that guy?
That guy? Yeah, that guy. He's my cousin.
Yeah. Oh, he's a bad dude, man.
There's an artificer who, like, magically replaced his hands with swords.
I went on a killing spree.
Yeah, it's not what a bird scissor hands does.
You're out.
Yes, it is. Haven't you watched the movie?
But it's what Eduardo's sword
for the first time
did.
this past year.
Yeah, he starts shaving people's beards, and he just starts murdering people.
I assume he's got to be a serial killer.
Yeah.
That's what I thought before I watched the movie. I really enjoyed the movie way more than I expected.
I actually genuinely thought he was
movie.
a serial killer.
No, I was making a joke because they're both. It's Johnny Depp in both movies, and I was referencing Sweeney Todd, where a barber.
See, I haven't seen Sweeney Todd.
But I thought those were the same movie.
Nope.
Who can blame you?
I mean, they're both Johnny Depp. They're both barbers killing people. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well,
maybe
Edward
that's why I thought
Scissorhands is actually more of a landscaper. He likes doing things with topiaries.
I don't believe you. Okay. So you walk out the door, and now it is Arion's turn. What you doing, Arion? You just watch him just like a boss, just strut through there, make some jokes, make everyone laugh, and walk right on out.
So, what is happening? What's the vibe in this room? Are people just like...
Same as it was before.
Are they talking...
People going about their day.
Serious business?
Yeah, everyone in here seems to be serious. Like, there's one table that seems to be casual, like friends hanging out, but everywhere else seems to be, people going about their day like they've got shit to do. It's just as busy as it was outside, but in here it is more, I sit out there, it's like, oh, but they're just like fucking around. In here it is more like, we got to get to work. Yeah, I guess
just stroll on out the door, too.
All right. Why don't you make a performance check also? And you do not have a D4.
Why doesn't he?
He already used it.
Because I already used it.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh, God. It's a 3 + 1 4.
Wow. Yeah, so people are laughing as Rain walks out. And then you go in, shut the door behind you, and you get about 3 steps into the room. And this ASMR is standing in front of you. Like he blocks your way. Steps in front of you with his arms folded, and he's like, what were you doing down there?
Can I see if I can recall the last name before the one I recorded in the book at the vault?
Yeah, make a history check.
Guess who has nothing in that? What is history? Is that intelligence?
It is.
It's a natural 20.
That's a nat
Oh my God.
20. So with a nat 20, you get to tell me that name, and you remember every name on the 1.5 pages you could see.
I was looking for my friend, known lawbringer, Harold Bruckner. He told me he had business down at the vault, so I was going to see down there. I was going down there to see if he was still down there, but I must have just missed him.
Harold's not a lawbringer yet. Why would you say he's a known lawbringer?
I said known lawbringer. I'm actually still pretty new around here myself. He got me involved here at the Lawbringers, so I just...
Did you have your pin already?
I knew he
Points
had...
to the pin that you're wearing.
Harold
brought you here?
He did. I mean, I know he was down at the vault. He told me he was going down to the vault. Like, you can go down there and, you check in with him. He was down there.
Roll persuasion.
Or deception?
Yeah, deception. That works for me. You're definitely lying.
Good, because I'm better at that.
I was thinking about persuading him to go check, but no, you're lying, so yeah, it makes sense.
Oh, it's just a 6 + 3, though. 9.
Yeah, how about we go together? Come on, let's go see if Harold's still down there.
So is he, like, grabbing me or anything?
No, I don't think he would go that far. You're still wearing a pin. He's definitely suspicious of how you got it. but not suspicious enough to grab a possible lawbringer, right? So he opens the door behind you and like gestures for you to go down first.
All right, I go down first.
Oh God. Okay, so he's gonna follow behind you. Do you go all the way down to the bottom?
As we're passing by the doors that we've passed by that you've very clearly wanted us to check out, I say, what's behind these doors? I've never actually known, because every time I've been down here, it's just been strictly business.
So you've never done any training sessions down here?
Like, any training sessions I've done have either been upstairs or have been out in the field.
Okay, who are you? Stop. Who are you? A lawbringer would know what's behind that door. Because you're like at the first door. He stops, he's pointing at that door. Everybody knows Pollard.
Hesitant silence and brandishing the short sword and going for his throat.
Alright. Make an attack roll.
Oh, it's another 3 plus 9, 6.
That does not hit. Alright. Let's see. How does grapple work again? It's athletics versus athletics or acrobatics.
Yes.
Or acrobatics.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so he got a 14. He's trying to grapple you.
It's a 7 plus 11. Or plus 4, 11.
So you swing at him, and he just moves out of the way, and then like grabs you. Well, he he scoops down, or leans down and like scoops you up and grabs you in a headlock from behind. And he's like, "Yeah, you're coming with me," and he starts toting you up the stairs.
If I have enough time, I guess I'm just going to try to break free from his
Yeah,
grapple.
I would say you have time. Like as he's getting to the door, you got one more chance to get out, which I think is a contest, right? Athletics versus athletics or acrobatics again. Oh no.
I'll do acrobatics for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I'm gonna do mine a visible roll here.
It's an 8 plus 4, 12.
It won't let me do it. Why can't I type? And he got a 9. 6 plus 3, 9. So you're able to wriggle out of his grasp as he gets to the door. What are you doing?
I would like to try to drop kick him down the stairs.
Okay, make another attack roll.
What modifier should I add to this?
Oh, you're not a monk, are you?
No, he's a rogue.
I'll be generous and let you do your dexterity modifier to it.
That is so generous. It's a 10 plus 4, 14.
That's still not gonna do it though.
God, it's a shame. I have all 45 pounds.
Alright, he's gonna just attack you at this point. It's a 17 to hit.
It does hit.
I have to Google something real quick.
Oh.
You think I'd know more about monks?
You don't know anything about monks? That makes sense. We've never played monks with you before.
They do a lot of stuff.
Just a D6.
It's a D6 unarmed. Is that where they start?
It is. No, it's not where they start, but that's where they're at level 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's the real question I was sussing out. I can't take on a level 5 enemy on my own.
So he's gonna attack. His stats aren't great, at least. Oh, he definitely hits you that time. That's a nat 18. So he gets 2 strikes. He punches you for 5 damage. And 4. 5 damage. So he just 1-2s you.
5
does 10 damage.
Oof, okay.
And you're at the top of the stairs at this doorway. What are you gonna do?
Bonus action, disengage with cunning action, and then for my regular action, I will dash, and I'm just getting the fuck out of dodge.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. How quickly was Rain? What did Rain do after he walked out?
He left.
But is he just like strolling? Is he sprinting? What's he doing? I guess he can walk down the stairs and back up.
Huh?
I was thinking, Arion did make this guy walk down the stairs back up. But how quickly was Rain leaving? Just casual stroll?
Yeah, he was like casually just heading toward the door and everything. He wasn't paying any attention to Arion.
Okay.
He doesn't even know who that is.
And Arion, you're just bursting out the door and running, right?
I suppose so.
Okay. As you go running through, this Asomar opens the door.
As I burst the door open, I say, there's something's going on down there in the vault. There are 2 dead bodies.
Make a deception roll. That's good. Take a point of inspiration too. I love it. That's just good play right there. I was thinking, oh my gosh, he's dead for sure.
That's just a 9 plus 3, 12, though.
You did just get an inspiration.
I'll use it. God, it's not going to be better. I've been rolling like Dookie.
Nope. Oh.
It's a 10 plus 3, 12, or 13, because I didn't have my modifier at the time.
Okay, so with a 13, you yell this right before the Lawbringer opens the door and yells, "Intruder sees him!" And it confuses the room. About half of them just look stunned. And then of the fourth that are the 2/4 that are left, right, 1/4 kind of moves towards the Asomar to go downstairs and see what's going on, and the other 4th moved to you to grab you. So that's like 15 Lawbringers that follow you.
So I would like to use the bonus action to hide. Given my small size, I would like to kind of hide amongst the throng of moving bodies, and I would like to have the nimble, which is move through the space of any creature larger than you. I would like to use the nimble feature of the halfling to kind of move through this throng of bodies while also staying kind of hidden.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. There's a lot of attention on you, so to do this, it's going to be a DC 18. You do have advantage because of your cloak. So, let's see what you can do.
It is a 16 plus 8, 24.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, so with a 24, you are definitely able to move through and slip out the door. As you come out the door, make a perception check, see if you see Rain. If you're looking for Rain.
It is a 7 plus 7, 14. Not great rolls.
But even with a 14, I would say, because Rain's not hiding, he's just strolling. You see, he's made it to like that border where he's like entering town. He just is walking like he's supposed to be here. I guess Rain's still wearing all your Lawbringer attire.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Just strolling. He's about to hit the city.
I want to dash around the circumference of the tower entrance to the opposite side and then run down an alley. I would like to change my attire to a beggar's attire and prop up against the wall.
Okay. I want you to make one more stealth check then. See if this works. I would say you burst out. Everyone lost you in the crowd, but you burst out and start running around, and as you start running around the side, you hear the door burst back open, like you must have left, right? So some people are coming out looking for you. God! At 22. Yeah, so with a 22, I was even making it harder because you're a beggar and there's like no beggars here.
Yeah.
You burst out, you run around the side, and then you sprint down the opposite way that Rain was going and kind of hit the city, switch your clothes real quick, and you're like sitting in an alley looking like a beggar. And you sit there for a few minutes as the commotion dies down around the tower. I would say actually at some point like a city guard comes up to you and like shoos you away. He was like, "Hey, you can't be here. You know you can't be here." Go down to the
Just
helm. We don't
looking-
put up with that at the vote. Get out of here. He's like poking
Gets
you
up
with the
reluctantly
blunt
and
end of
walks
his
away.
Yeah, and you stroll off that way as Rain starts making his way back to the cloaks, and we will stop there.
I genuinely think I ended up doing more harm than good other than my arrows, but you do what you do.
I was excited. I really thought that he was going to get captured or die. Rogues that disengaged, man. How much health did you have?
14. So, not a lot. It could have been ugly.
Well, if you hadn't passed that first
definitely.
stealth check, I wasn't going to do rolls at all. I was going to be like, there's like 15 lawbringers on top of you. They grab you and subdue you. I'm over here thinking about how did he do on his test. You know? I guess technically his test was as long as Rain completes his test. No. Rain did phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Rain did well. I don't know why you were considering if he did well or not. You know he did.
Uh-huh. I'm just over here running this, the quest giver's motives in my mind going, he technically said if Rain completes the quest, you're good. But
Yep.
was it a test within a test? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'll say this.
Rain...
Definitely enough people saw you, and like how this would go later, right? After 2-3 weeks pass, they have really investigated this. The monk that you fought with was definitely sat in jail for a little bit, but he was eventually released, and there are wanted posters all over Voghelm, with Arion's face on them.
Oof. There's posters of Rain too, but it's like this guy's a badass for carrying 4 swords, you know? This is Edward Sore's hands.
There's not wanted posters. The Lawbringers are talking about it like inside the tower. They're like, who was that guy? We got to get him back.
Yeah,
he
where'd
must
he
be
go?
one of those Ronin.
Yeah.
Like we need him to get back in the tower, man. That dude was legit.
There's a poster on the there's a poster on like their milk cartons now. Have you seen this guy?
Have you seen this guy? We want his autograph.
We want his autograph? Yeah, you know.
Because the Lawbringers very much operate like that. You can stay at the tower and get missions, or you can just go out and do your own thing and flex your Lawbringer power.
Yep.
If you abuse it, obviously you'll get in trouble, but there's a lot of these like Ronin-type Lawbringers that just go out and bring justice to Erys.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Of course,
All right.
they're Jedi Knights slash
Jedi Knights
/ Wild West Sheriffs. That was the entire inspiration behind them. I want to see a Jedi Knight mixed with a Wild West Sheriff.
Makes sense to me. That's
Still
all
with
they
us,
were
Seaman?
anyways.
He's dead again.
He died. All right, I'm gonna get off.
He's here.
Gonna get off here.
He said that.
The only problem with Arion speaking into Rain's mind is that Rain doesn't like that.
Nobody does.
Yeah, no one does.
It doesn't help. Rain's like one personality trait is that he mimics the voice of anybody who speaks to him, and so when you're speaking into his mind, he can't mimic your voice.
Yeah, that's last
Mimic
session
my
we
mind
did this,
voice.
I forgot that, and when he's talking to the figure that gave you the mission, he talked in this real whispery voice, and it was
Rain
hilarious
did it
listening
too.
back because I remembered why you were doing it, and I can remember at the time being like, "Why the fuck is he doing that?"
Why the fuck is he doing?
I'm doing this whisper, this like sinister whispery voice, and then Arion starts doing a whispery voice back at me, and I'm like, "Why is he?" And like halfway through the conversation, Orion's like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember this, but Rain mimics voices when he talks to people," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're blowing my mind." I'm like, come on, man, tighten up. You're just letting my addictive voice like catch over there.
Yep. That's all it was.
That's not what he was doing.
All right, Eugene. I think I'm having a stroke. Good night, guys.